Hey friend, welcome. It is December. I can't even believe it, but here we are. So we're going to chat about my November numbers, how much profit I made, some of my best sales, and some of my worst. And if we haven't met yet, I'm Jen. I am a part-time, fairly new reseller, which means I go to thrift stores and garage sales and the Goodwill outlet and I buy used items, mostly clothes, shoes, purses, some stuff like that. And I resell them on eBay and a teeny tiny little bit on Poshmark. So I do this part-time. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I homeschool my kids. I have a pretty full life, but I just am aiming to make an extra $2,000 a month so that I can put 1,000 of that into my family's budget. The other 1,000 generally gets split between saving for taxes, because this is taxable income, and then putting it back into my business. Or, you know, I kind of use this as my part-time job, I guess, but it is a business. So right off the bat, I will tell you that October was hard. It just didn't go quite as I had planned or had thought, but November was great. So November, I sold 151 items. I believe I sold 141 in October. So already it's better numbers-wise. Just all across the board, it was better. So my average sale price per item was $41. That's up 16%. I believe that was around $28. And that started, my average sale price when I first started was like $7, I think. So I'm definitely getting better. I've been doing this just for a little over a year, about 14 months now. My gross sales. So the total sales amount that I sold on eBay was $5,045.01. And so then my total profit, if I look on my spreadsheet, it tells me that I made $2,918.69, which is so good. If I divide that in between those 153 items that I sold, my average profit per item was $19.33, which is just amazing to me. I will tell you I had a lot of higher priced items sell, and most of them came from the storage unit. My sister had access to a storage unit, and there were some phenomenal things in there, and I've had some really good sales, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. So I have been cross-listing and putting things on Poshmark. I'm not super consistent about it, and I certainly don't share and do all the things. I actually was just thinking, I wonder if I can hire my teenager to like share my closet for me, how much she would charge me for that. We'll see. Anyway, gross, how much I sold on there was $429. So there were 16 items that I sold on Poshmark. I pay $50 a month for a prime lister to cross list. And so taking that out and the 20% fees that Poshmark charges, I made $293.20 in the month of November. So, that's not a lot. However, that's 10% of my total profit. I didn't take out the cost of goods in that particular number, so that's a little skewed. Just please be aware of that. So one thing I did this month was, and actually every month, every day I will unlist, I will end the listing of some older items in my store, my eBay store, and then I will relist it like the next day. And I pick categories that I relist in. That's just how I like to do it. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it. Some people do it based on date. I just like to pick categories. So I picked hats, bras, overalls, and Christmas. All my Christmas items I relisted. And I thought it was just interesting to see I did sell 3 hats this month, which actually I feel like is not a lot, but I don't know. Most of the hats I have are like ball caps, like baseball caps. And I think only 2 of those sold. But I don't know. I just don't feel like it's the right time of year for most baseball caps. I don't know. I could be wrong. I mean, my husband wears one all year long, but I thought it was odd. I thought I would have sold more. I sold 3 bras. Again, I thought I would have sold a few more, but I did sell 7 pairs of overalls. 3 of those were newly listed from the storage unit, but the other 4 were ones that I relisted because I have a little bit of a little kid overall issue. If you watched any of my channel or any of my other videos, you know I like picking up to sell vintage overalls, Oshkosh in particular, but there are a few other brands that I like. So I did sell a cute little baby pair of Carhartt overalls. They were darling. And then 6 Christmas items. 2 of those were new listings that actually came from the bins from the Goodwill outlet. So, but the other 4 were items that I'd had probably since last year that did sell. So when I go in my spreadsheet, and so I have my spreadsheet I gotta be careful. My spreadsheet set up just for my own personal use. I like the numbers. I find it interesting, the things that sell, how much they sell for, like categories. I actually am thinking about going a little bit further in my spreadsheet mania, but right now how I have it set up is I put where it is in my inventory. So I have a bin system that I use, and then what the item is, the date I bought it, how much I bought it for, where I found it, and then the category. And I just have broad categories right now, and I really am thinking I might kind of micro category a little bit, just because I think it's interesting to know, like, have I sold more men's sweaters than women's sweaters or things like that. So right now I know, mostly I sell women's clothes and then men's clothes, and then usually like a shoe is in there somewhere. Men's shoes or women's shoes. For some reason I didn't look at those numbers this time around, so that's interesting to me. But then after I've sold the item, it tells me what date it sold, or I tell the spreadsheet what date it sold, how much it sold for, my fees, and the cost that I have to pay for shipping, if there are shipping costs, which most of the time there are, and then it tells me my profit. So when I tell you my profit, that is what I calculate from those numbers. So when I look at my spreadsheet, per item, my cost of goods, which is how much it cost me to buy the item that sold, was $237.43. I feel like that was a very long explanation for that little number, but if I look at my actual cost of goods, which means that's how much I actually spent in November to buy items to resell, I only spent $275.41 this month. There was a big trip to the Goodwill outlet, and then I had 5 little trips, so like $30 and under, to stores in my area. The reason I didn't buy that much is, 1, the Goodwill outlet, I can get a lot of things for not a lot of money, which is lovely. But then I also was still listing all those items from the storage unit. There were 150 items from the storage unit. So that's almost what I list in a month. So I list 6 days a week, and I list 7 new items, plus then I relist about between 3 to 5, just kind of depending on my mood. My actual eBay deposits that came into my account were $3,211.72. eBay deposits into my account. I have it set up so it deposits every Tuesday. There were 5 Tuesdays in November, so I ended up with 5 paychecks. That's how I kind of see it, is those are my paychecks. So I just am really, really thrilled with that. It has been helpful, especially now that, you know, Christmas is almost here. We always spend more than we should at Christmas time, and we've had some other kind of unexpected things come up. So it has definitely been a blessing to our family, and it has been so much, I'm having so much fun with this. So let's talk about the really good sales. And really, it was just a good month, and there were so many amazing things. However, I had one day in November that I didn't make any sales at all. So it really feels like a roller coaster a lot. Like, there's some really good days. I had a $450 day and then a $0 day. So I mean, that can, sometimes it's exhausting. But I will tell you that I looked at my profit when I was looking at these numbers. And I was looking at any profit of an item that I made over $30 on. And there were 22 items that I made more than $30 on in November, which is amazing. Absolutely amazing. 13 of those items did come from the storage unit. I'm not going to go over those today because I'm going to do a throwback thrift haul with the storage unit in a couple months. So I will do a dedicated video over what all sold from that haul. I mean, I didn't really thrift it, but it's still a haul. So there were 9 items that did not come from the storage unit. And the most recent one that sold is this, I think it's Syra, I don't know, vest. It was like a puffer quilted vest on one side, and then it was like a wool on the other. It was reversible, and it was beautiful. I found it at a thrift store on a half off day. I spent $2.50, and after fees and shipping, my profit was $43.01. It will tell you here how much the buyer paid for the item. But then if it's on eBay, which most of these are, I think, eBay also puts into my account what the person paid for shipping. I do calculated shipping, and then eBay takes the fees, and then I take out what it actually costs for me to ship it. So if the number that I'm saying and the number on the screen don't match up, that's why. That is the number that the person paid for the item itself, not shipping included. So the next item were these crazy Route 66. That's the brand. Isn't that like a Kmart brand? Anyway, these were like a Y2K style shoe, very chunky. They weren't even in like immaculate condition. But those I found at a Salvation Army rummage sale for $2.14. That was my average cost of goods. The Salvation Army, oh my goodness, rummage sale. We don't have a Salvation Army in our town, the store. So the church does a rummage sale at least 3 times a year, and it has been lovely. Every time it's been great. But these shoes actually went global shipping, so they paid even more than this, and my profit was $37.70. This Ralph Lauren duster, if you saw my most recent bins haul, you know I sold this for over $100. Oh my goodness. My average cost of goods was $1.81. I can't even believe it. It had holes in it. And I disclose the holes. Always disclose. If there's flaws that you see, disclose them. Just do it. They still sell for $13. My profit was $103.19. That's just amazing. This next thing did sell on Poshmark, and it was this woven purse, and it looked brand new, but there were no tags on it, like none. I didn't know what it was made of. I didn't know where it was made. It looked very nice, but I don't think it was real leather, and I think I actually called it vegan leather maybe in in my description, and I did say that I wasn't sure what it was made of. I did sell this on Poshmark. I think I already said that. I found it at my favorite thrift store for 95 cents. That was my average cost of goods that day. And my profit was $31.05, which is amazing. This is my moment to say, let people that love you know what you do, because sometimes they will give you things. And my mother-in-law gave me these pair of Skechers. She wore them like twice and didn't like them. She said if one of my girls wanted to wear them, they could. They didn't fit one of my daughters. The daughter they did fit doesn't like them, and she was like, just resell them. So it was a zero cost of goods for me from my mother-in-law, and my profit was $32.75. This jacket I found in my Small But Mighty thrift haul, and I'm pretty sure, if I didn't, I found it at that same thrift store. So it's just a local thrift store, and it benefits the Humane Society. So the brand was Abercrombie & Fitch, and it comped really well when I comped it in the store. Like, I think it was selling for like $60. It was a small or an extra small. So that, I don't know. I feel like I don't get as much money for the smaller sizes in things like this. But I still had a profit of $31.60. So I am not at all sad about that. Then another item that I got for free from my family, my stepmom sent me this Eddie Bauer down-filled coat. I am pretty sure it was vintage. My profit was $40.63, and it was free. So super thankful for a supportive family and the amazing things they send me to resell. This was an Andy Warhol. It had like a shoe on it, and it was a blanket, like a woven throw blanket. And I found it at my favorite thrift store again. My average cost of goods that day was 40 cents. That's why it's my favorite thrift store. But my profit ended up being $30 even on that. That's kind of weird. Oh well. This was so cool, this puppet, and it actually freaked me out. She wasn't a puppet. So do you know the old lady who swallowed the fly? I found this at a Goodwill, and I did the whole, oh, there was an old lady who swallowed a fly. I have problems sometimes. Anyway, she was so cute because she actually like ate the little beanbag animals, and when the lady got it, she was like, there's no animals. And I said, they're in her mouth, because I put them all in her mouth. And I was a little nervous that she was going to be like, something's missing. It was complete. It was very cool. I bought it at a Goodwill, apparently on a half off day, or had some sort of discount, because I think it was priced at like $4, and I have my cost of goods as $2.70. My profit was $33.60. It did take a long time to sell. Like, I was nervous that it wasn't going to sell, but $33.60 is a great profit, in my opinion. So I thought, I'm really happy with those, but I was kind of curious. I'm always curious, like, okay, I had 22 items where I had a more than $30 profit out of 153. How many items was my profit less than $10? Do you want to know? Do you want to know the number? I'm going to tell you. 26. So I had more items that were under $10 in profit than were over $30 in profit. And then everything else fell in between $10 and $30, which totally makes sense. That's where most of my sales are, is kind of in between that, like $15 to $25, maybe $35 if I'm looking at, $10 to $30 in profit. So 26 total items. 3 of those items came from the storage unit. I'm not going over 23 total items that were less than $10, but I am going to tell you the items that were less than $5 in profit, which I think 1 or 2 were $6. Basically my 5 lowest profit. So the first one is this American Eagle crop top. I found it at my favorite thrift store for 42 cents, and my profit on it was $5.91. Now, that's more than 10 times my money. Was it worth, photographing it, listing it? I don't know. I think it is. I think that, if I look at 26 items with $5 profit, I can't fast math, but that's a good chunk of money that I would be missing out on if I didn't pick up those items, if I didn't buy those items for 42 cents occasionally. Now, there are some scenarios like this, which is another crop top, but this one was from Victoria's Secret. I found this at a garage sale, and it said my cost of goods was $2.57, so I must have taken my average cost of goods. I probably did pay about $2 for this, and my profit was only $3.67. So, had my cost of goods been 50 cents, then my profit would have been more like $5, and that I think would have made a little more sense. But when I'm paying almost $3 and only making a little more than $3, I feel like that's not a great return on my investment. And again, the time it takes to do that. So here is a good example of, I could have donated these or tried to sell them locally, and I might have done that, and really I might have made a little more sense doing this, but this is delightful reading. Like I said, I'm a homeschool mom, so I was going through my curriculum and actually sold quite a bit of it right away, and I still have a few pieces left that are kind of trickling through. This is one of those. I made $6.78. I feel like overall, as I was listing this curriculum, that I made a decent amount for the time that I spent listing it, because I did it all, at one time, basically. So could I have made a little more if I'd have sold it locally? Maybe, but it would have been a little more of a hassle for me because that's not something that I'm used to at this point. My point with this is, sometimes when you're going to go donate something or get rid of it, it might be worth your while to just check the sell-through rate. And if, for me, I went through all my curriculum and I only listed the stuff that I could either sell for, I set up some parameter, like $15 or something. And then the sell-through rate had to be a certain, like 25% or something, because I don't want to just keep things on a shelf out in my garage. I'm trying to get it out of my shelves, I don't want to just move it to another shelf to hold it there for a while. But if, you have something that might be valuable, take the time to look it up and sell it yourself instead of donating it or throwing it away. Oh goodness. So here is another example of, I really did comp these jeans. They're Wrangler Rigs, but they did not sell for very much. And my profit was $3.26. I spent $3.50 on them. So I made less than I actually spent on them, which is not ideal at all. And then these LL Bean jeans, similar. LL Bean is one of those brands that I buy more often than I probably should. I need to pay a little bit more attention to what it is, especially when I'm spending, I spent $3.15. I didn't spend a lot of money, but I spent $3. It wasn't 40 cents, right? So I need to just pay a little bit more attention in that. I did make $6.21 on those jeans. And then this Star Wars bra, I bought it at a garage sale for $3.54. I doubt I actually paid that much. I probably paid more like $1 for it. So my profit on that was $6.28. I probably wouldn't have actually paid $3.50 for a sports bra. But if I did only pay $1 for it, then, $6.28, I think that is decent. So even, things that I'm making smaller profits on, they're still worthwhile in my opinion. And those add up. it's a significant amount of money made just from those profits that are under $10. So I'm very, very happy with that. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to share with you. I really enjoy just like going over these numbers and kind of seeing how much I've made, and I hope you enjoy listening. If you have, please give me a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't. You can also check out another video probably right here, and I will see you soon.